He's always on time. I'm gonna bang this thing.
Like that.
Are we ready? I'm gonna start. Oh, that was loud. Welcome to the regular meeting of the Cape Coral Youth Council. Today's date is November 3rd, 2023. This meeting will now come to order. Everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Vice Chair Garcia, please take today's attendance.
Members Gabriela Garcia, Stephanie Negron, and Sophia Roman have been asked to be excused, and I will mark them as so. Anchetta.
Here.
Arevalo.
Here.
Bella.
Here.
Dupeyron.
Here.
Weichthaler.
Here.
Lebed.
Here.
Little.
Here.
Bezirkowitz.
Here.
Muncie.
Here.
Whitish.
Here.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Item 4, changes to the agenda. Are there any changes to the agenda? And this can be both adding or subtracting items and even rearranging the order for today. Seeing none, we'll go to item 5, review of meeting notes. After reviewing last meeting's notes written by Vice Chair, does anyone have any questions, comments, or concerns? Seeing none, let's go to item 6, recognitions and achievements. There are none to report at this time. Let's go to item 7, advisor presentation. 7A, upcoming council report. I will now turn the floor over to Advisor Mazurkowitz for any council updates.
Madam Chair, workshop coming up next week and then the following week. A lot of things continue to happen. A lot of things in parks continue to happen. Land use issues, so pay attention to what's going on. They will be making decisions that will be impacting your lives more than mine.
Thank you, Mr. Mazurkowitz. Is there any more discussion about his report? Seeing none, let's go to item 8, citizens input. This consists of input of citizens on matters concerning city government, 3 minutes per individual. The council will listen to all speakers and respond after all speakers have made their presentations. I will now read the Pledge of Civility. We will be respectful of each other even when we disagree. We will direct all comments to the issues. We will avoid personal attacks. Citizens input is now open. Any members of the public wishing to speak, please use the podium to the right facing the dais and state your name for the record.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Council. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for this opportunity to let me come and speak. I'd like to first say how I am impressed with all of you. Your ambition, your interest in civil engagement, it's very encouraging. I think that the students sitting up here today will be the futures of your generation. You'll be the leaders for sure. So thank you for that. I came here to formally invite you to, I'm sorry, I never stated my name, I apologize. My name is Christopher Jackson, and I sit on the board of the Oasis Charter School Governing Board. So that being said, I'd like to formally invite you to join us at Oasis Charter School Authority Governing Board for a meeting on March 12th in Chambers, right here where you all are sitting. It starts at 5:30. I think this would help you all gain a better understanding of how the board makes its decisions. And a lot of these decisions that we make as a board affect you personally in your everyday lives in school. So again, I'd like to extend this invitation to come sit with us. You would shadow each one of our board members, sit up at the dais with us, go over the agenda with us. You can even have some input if you'd like as well. And I think it would be a great opportunity for us to form a partnership or an alliance so that we can work together. You can come directly to us with some of your questions as well. So thank you for your time and your consideration. I look forward to hosting you for our next meeting, hopefully. So if you decide that you're going to come, we would love to have you there. Thank you.
Is there anyone else wishing to speak? Seeing none, citizens input is now closed. Is there any discussion about citizen input? I want to personally say thank you, Mr. Jackson, for coming and thinking about us. I think on our board, we usually, when we're thinking of schools, we think of the school district board. We don't really consider Oasis Charter Board, even though we do recognize that you do exist. But we do have, most of our own board is from Oasis. So I feel like it is important that we do come to this meeting, and thank you for coming today. Any more discussion? All right, let's go to item 9, quarterly report. A few weeks ago, we presented our first quarterly report at a regular city council meeting. I believe that it went really well. We had about 8 of us there, which is, I think, the most we've ever had, at least in my term. So it was a really good show out. All of you guys did really good with speaking up there, and there was a lot of citizens in the audience that day, which is really always amazing because we get to talk and show everyone what we're doing, what we're planning, and it's really good. I would like to now open the floor to any members that want to just quickly give some feedback or discuss. Member Whitish?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I first wanted to say to everyone that came and represented the Youth Council, I think we did an amazing job. I think we articulated ourselves very well to the Cape Coral City Council, and I think that for those of us that worked on creating the quarterly report, I think we all did a very good job, and I think that altogether this year, just to say in general, not only our quarterly report, I think that this council is doing a lot of really good work, and I think we're on a really good path. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Whitish. Any more feedback? Seeing none, let's go to item 10A, 2024 meeting schedule discussion. Each year around this time, we actually approve our following year's meeting schedule, so the 2024 meetings. In the backup material, you have a draft copy of the meeting dates that we will be either approving or amending today. Is there any discussion about these dates? Member Little?
I'd just like to offer, I think they look good. They seem reasonable.
Thanks. We love positive feedback. Seeing no discussion, can I have a motion to approve the 2024 Youth Council meeting schedule as presented? Member Whitish?
I motion to approve.
Can I have a second? Member Bella?
I second that motion.
The motion was made by Member Whitish, the second by Member Bella. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Okay. Any discussion about the meeting schedule? All right, let's go to business item 10B, FLC Youth Council video competition discussion. At our last meeting, members Encheta and Bella discussed their plan and layout for a video submission to this year's FLC Youth Council video competition. We also assigned various members different jobs to record different video clips for the submission. I am just hoping that everything's going smoothly right now with our video, as it is about to be submitted soon. Miss Griglin, may you please start the video? We are going to watch it.
Councilmember Shepherd.
Yeah, I just want to thank everyone for coming out, and I want to let you know that I listen, and I understand what everybody's going through, and I'm going to work diligently on seeing what we can do. I mean, as a community, you guys are all important, not just the city workers, but the other citizens that came forward as well. So I hear you loud and clear. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Renee Bella. I'm a senior member of Cape Coral Youth Council. We just finished our Adopt a Road cleanup, which is our monthly service project. We just drove back on that bus over there, and I was mainly in the median, so we picked up a lot of interesting things, but now the median looks a lot better and a lot cleaner, so when people are driving by, they don't see such a mess.
And I'm the chair of the Cape Coral Youth Council, and my favorite thing about Cape Coral is the 4 Mile Cove Ecological Preserve. This preserve is very special to me because me and my family take afternoon walks there and on their boardwalk, and their boardwalk is through a 200-mile swamp, and it is made up of different mangroves and endangered animals, and it also has a waterfront that allows our kayakers to kayak around around Cape Coral. And one special thing about the Youth Council that we are doing is creating a rock garden in one of our many parks in Cape Coral, which is the Lake Saratoga Park. What this garden is meant to do, and the whole message of it, is to spread kindness and love through our citizens and actually allow them to get involved in doing service projects by creating different painted rocks and creating this beautiful garden for our community. So yeah, it's a very great little project that we're trying to implement. Hopefully we can do it by the end of the year, but yes, that's what we're doing in the Cape Coral Youth Council.
My name is Christian Widdish, and I'm a junior member of the Cape Coral Youth Council. This year we adopted rules of operations, which, because we were released from Sunshine Law, we decided to still maintain order in our meetings and still have voting procedure. So we adopted a book of rules of operations, which details how the chair and vice chair are elected. It details how we vote, what constitutes a quorum for our meetings, and how members can make motions and things of that nature. We dedicate ourselves to ensuring that we run very smoothly so that we can pass our motions and so that we can execute our projects very well for the city. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Mia Mazurkowitz, and I'm a current junior member of the City of Cape Coral's Youth Council. This year, I was lucky enough to be able to serve on a Citizens Input Committee in regards to the renovations of the City of Cape Coral's Yacht Club, which unfortunately we did lose in the devastation of Hurricane Ian last year. However, this experience was overall very educational and just very cool. I mean, I was able to bring the youth's perspective onto an issue a real issue that our city was facing. So I'm just very grateful to be able to have been able to serve on this committee and, just do my part.
Okay, that was pretty good. I'm gonna open the floor to you guys first. Just get some reflection and feedback, members in Chetta and Bella.
I just noticed a few little things to make shorter or to refilm. So I have notes on that. I think I do want to add a title sequence to it. I would be open to suggestions for what to put for that. And I don't know, what do you think?
Yeah, I think what we want, there's a few things that we wanted to add to it, especially because we were talking about adding narration throughout, so it's not just different videos and just the text kind of stating what's happening, but so we kind of discuss if there's a construction being shown, it's what is this, what is that? So I don't know if we want to split that up or one of us can do it. But then also another thing is just for the school section.
Yeah.
I think if anyone has like footage of their school, because I know events happen and stuff, maybe you have like a football game or a pep rally or just like the hallway or something. I think that would be a really cool addition. But besides that, I mean, we're open to suggestions.
Yeah, I agree with the high schools thing because it just stayed with Oasis. It was like many high schools, and it's just Oasis. But I agree. I feel like we should just do a little montage of all the schools that are involved in our council. I think it was pretty good. There's a couple grammar issues, I think, just like capitalization. I thought it was really cool that you put Dan Shepard's little monologue there. And the one suggestion I also have is you would have like the community involvement or like the different events, the special events, put like just the title of what that event was. Because like the JC Park concert thing, I would put JC Park concert, just so it would give it a little more specific. But any more suggestions? Member Little?
So there was the part of the video that said like many schools. The text was white, but I think it'd be better to be black because I think it blended in with the sky way too much. I don't know if anyone else felt like that, but I know the rest of the text was white, but I couldn't really read it at first.
You could probably do like white with a black outline, and then you'll be able to see it. Any other feedback? It could be positive or any suggestion. Member Dupay-Brown?
Maybe we could have like pictures of the trunk or treat if you guys have that, and then instead of having the pictures of like the ocean and like the waterways and things like that, maybe cut that a little bit shorter. And then I also think the idea of having like narration would be nice, and that way someone can verbally explain it while we have like footage of the city.
Any more? Oh, yes.
Madam Chair, I noticed on your outline, it says Insight into the Future, which is not featured yet, Insight into the Future. I think a shot of you guys adopting, the actual motion of adopting your strategic plan, and then listing your strategic initiatives would be, I mean, yeah, our Insight into the Future is well planned. We passed our first strategic, plan this year, and we have a vision and specific goals to accomplish. That is, I mean, no, there's not another youth council in the state that has done that, ever. So I think that's pretty impressive.
I agree. Yep.
So I know me and Alexa filmed the strategic initiatives. I'm glad you didn't put it in the video. We should refilm that because I mentioned just a very blank statement of what was in the strategic initiatives. So everything Mr. Mazurkowitz said, I'm just going to say in the video, and then we can cut the part where we adopted it. So we could film that maybe Monday or Tuesday.
I have a question or a statement. I think it's fabulous, but I think the end needs to be smoothed out because it just ends on a scene.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Yeah, the end, it kind of just ended. It needs kind of like a transition
You save
out.
room for that last piece you haven't added yet, the strategic initiative. You could have that at the end. And then say, yeah, well, this is the end of the video, it's just the beginning of our work in Cape Coral.
Here we go, write it down. Write it down. Any more feedback? You are. Okay. Renee, Member Bella, you're doing the video summary, right? Are you doing the video? Okay. Just a reminder to get it to Ms. Greglin by Monday. We are getting a letter of recommendation from someone from the city council. And I think that's it. Ms. Greglin, when do you want their video to be submitted?
Thank you, Chair. Just a reminder, the final link has got to be a YouTube video. They won't accept it in any other way, shape, or form. I had originally said Monday, but now that I have seen the final product, I feel confident that if you need till Tuesday or Wednesday, I'm okay with that. Okay? I have to have it, we're off Friday, so I've got to have it sometime Wednesday so that Thursday, if there's any issues with my computer, any issues with their link, like Thursday is my final day to get it up. So by Wednesday, please, 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 if not before that, to have it in my possession. Thank you.
Right. Is there any more discussion? Questions? All right, let's go to the next business item. Business item 10C, Blessings in a Backpack sponsorship discussion. At our previous meeting, we planned to discuss with member Mazurkowitz ideas for fundraising for Blessings in a Backpack. However, she could not attend last meeting, but she did leave us with a list of ideas she came up with that's centered around partnering with the Chamber of Commerce and city events to collect money at their different various events and meetings they host. So I'm going to open the floor to member Mazurkowitz first to hear some more plannings and ideas.
Thank you, Chair. If you guys remember what was discussed last meeting, I just wanted to contact the chamber, and be like, hey, this is our ideas, but if you guys have anything else, please, I would love to work with them, because I don't know what business, wouldn't catch on to this idea, but I just kind of want to start reaching out to them. So if anyone has any questions, then.
Me and member Anchetta, we worked with the Chamber of Commerce for our leadership, so we could give you 2 contacts from them that it would be easier and you can get into them real quickly.
Right.
I think I have their email, but I do have their phone numbers, so I can send that to you.
Okay.
They have a monthly meeting, so we could probably guest speak there and have a table or something. That was my idea. I think you brought up Holiday Festival of Lights, because they also do that. We can have something there. And I was thinking maybe we could make a GoFundMe for Blessings in a Backpack, because I know we have one for Lovelocks, and what we could just do is, when we're at these places, we could have a QR code, and they can see our GoFundMe and donate directly. And I was thinking maybe we could sell little things at these little table events that we do.
Okay.
But yeah, those were all my little ideas. But I really think that working with the Chamber of Commerce, they're really big on volunteering and community service. So
I figured so.
yeah, they definitely would help. I want to move over to member Whittish real quick, because I know that you sent an email about the silent auction with the gift cards. I know it said we couldn't auction off gift cards because that does kind of sound silly. But could you just go over the website real quick?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So after securing 5 $10 gift cards from Five Guys, at this point we're really kind of in the stages of wondering, what are we going to do with them? Are we going to auction them off, which is a possibility, but there is kind of a fine line with that. We have to the 32 auction site is what it's called, 32auctions.com or .net, basically allows us the free option. It allows us to post those gift cards online, and we can provide the link and post them on social media to the point where people can make anonymous silent bids, and then whoever we start the bid off, hoping to make however much on the gift cards. Whoever has the highest bid, of course, they get the gift cards, and then we donate the proceeds to Blessings in a Backpack after our auction. The only thing is, I kind of want to, if I can ask it through the chair to the advisors, what is that something that is allowed for us to do? Would you prefer us not do an auction and do something different?
Yeah, you can, instead of auctioning online, you could do a silent auction at the gala. We have sheets of paper and everyone's signed up right there. Sometimes it's more interactive, people get competitive, and when they see it going. But an online auction is also very, it's up to you, whichever one you want to do. I don't think there's... Yeah, it's whichever one you guys want to do. There may be certain items that would work better as an online auction, and then there may be some that'll be better at an in-person in a silent auction. I wouldn't be the one to be able to tell you which one's one, which one is which, But I'm sure there's some folks, I could get you together with folks who do that. The chamber does numerous silent auctions at their events. They could tell you what kind of items give you a high rate of return and make money for you. And I'm not sure if they've ever done an online auction, but I'm sure there's some people with experience there that can help you make a decision.
Are we doing the gala? Because I thought we weren't, because we didn't make any money last year. And that's why we're doing all this sponsorship.
It's up to you. I mean,
I know,
it's
that's
your
why
choice.
we're literally doing the
You're gonna-
silent auction because,
I understand that. You can make a lot more money doing the auction.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Then doing the gala.
Before you said that, my idea was to make gift baskets, like the raffle baskets that we did for the gala, but do them online and put the gift cards in the basket. I literally have down fast food / quick bite to eat basket down on my script because I was thinking we could do that instead. But
Yeah, you could do that, or you probably could also, if you wanted to do a silent auction, you could do it at, maybe see if you can get permission to use the foyer at City Hall and just have your items listed out there, and people could, for a week, come in and submit bids. You don't have to do it at a gala. You can do it at a public place.
I like that idea. Like City Hall or a chamber conference events. Remember Woodish?
It would probably be more popular if we did the basket idea, if we could, collect more items from local businesses and then compile a
That's
basket. And then I can actually go forward and work on that, try and get some more tangible items instead of just cash donations if we want to create a basket and then move forward with an online auction.
Yeah, if you do it in a basket, you have, let's say, multiple eating venues, and you put all of them in one basket, and you say it's a lunch and dinner basket or whatever, or food for thought basket or something like that. Actually, you do. You get meals and Barnes and Noble, and do food for thought.
You're too good. Food for thought.
It just pops every so often, and then it goes away for 2 years.
I think it's a good idea. Remember Woodish?
So I can start working on that. I don't know. I don't think we have to do. Well, it's up to you, Madam Chair. But I mean, as long as you're okay with me going forward and working on that.
Yeah. Is anyone opposed to Member Woodish going forth with this idea of making raffle baskets? No. Okay. Yeah, I think we're good with that. Yes. Ms.
So if I may make a suggestion, and obviously I would need to get approval ahead of time, but thinking outside of the box and in regards to Mr. Mazurkowicz's suggestion, I believe sometime in February, which I know sounds a long time away, but it's truly not, I believe they hold a Valentine's Bazaar craft fair here. So that would give us a couple months to obtain gift cards, baskets, put this whole idea together, and maybe we can have our own table instead of selling crafts. We're offering, and I know our my coworkers, city workers, they attend those type of events. So we would definitely get it out there, and be part of this bazaar, craft fair. So if you guys want to take that route, I can certainly find out if that is an option for us.
Yeah, I would say go ahead with that. Any more discussion? Anything from advisors? No. I feel like this was pretty successful. Member Woodish, work with Member Mazurkowicz as well. Double it. So we can get 2 people going and get in those items. So let's go over to item 10D, Junior Project Continued Discussion. At our last meeting, we discussed many factors of our clothing drive and clothing giveaway event, like promoting the drive to different schools and how we would like to distribute the clothes into different categories before the event. Now that the clothing drive is officially over, because it's not October anymore, we must now focus on planning the actual giveaway event. So I first want to turn the floor over to Ms. Grigland to hear any updates about the boxes.
Thank you, Chair. So in regards to the donations, we did a really, really good job. We've collected from all of the local areas. I haven't even seen what they dropped off at the special populations. I guess in general, they collect donations throughout the year. So she already had piles for us before we even started. So, but we definitely have a lot of clothes. I have been working hand in hand with Miss Aravello as well in finalizing our obviously our location where we will do the actual event on Saturday, November the 18th. So with that being said, since that location is used for other things, we are limited to when we can go in there and sort, okay? Not only do they have other events during the day, but they do host evening events for after school care. So right now, the 2 dates that we are able to sort, and when we sort them and stack them, unfortunately, we're not putting them on the actual tables where the people are going to come through and look. They're going to be like on a separate stage because we just can't, they only have 2 rooms available and we can't take that up for an event they already have. So it's going to be Wednesday, November the 15th, and Thursday, November the 16th. Don't kill the messenger. 6 to 8 p.m. So, obviously you guys are out of school, finished your homework, but those are the 2 days that I'm going to need commitment that everybody can come help, sort. Remember, whatever we do in those 2 days times frames is going to help us on that Saturday to help the event move much, much more smoothly. Okay? And then in regards to the after, I have worked it out with Goodwill that we will have a member or 2, depends on what kind of employees they can provide that day, but they will have the large bins. If you've ever gone to Goodwill, you see them moving those bins around. We should have a bin or 2, and they are going to ask for the help of you guys to get it obviously from the building out to their trucks. And they will be there from 12:15 to 1 o'clock, however long they need to help take the clothes from that building, because we have to make sure everything is out of the youth center by that Saturday before we leave. Okay, any questions?
Thank you for all that information and planning. Too good. Okay. So Wednesday, November 15th, 6 to 8, and Thursday, November 16th. Did I say 16th? 16th, 6 to 8. So 15, 16, Wednesday, Thursday. Would it be okay, could I ask some friends to come to help or no?
I'm not going to turn away anybody's hands.
All right. Well, then that is your invitation to bring someone to help, please. Member Bella?
I actually did have a question real quick, just to confirm on those days, we're gonna be sorting through the bags and stuff.
Correct.
But should I bring like the plastic bags that I volunteered to bring on the 15th?
I would suggest that way you don't have to worry about bringing them on Saturday. We'll have everything there that we need, so absolutely, I would bring the bags in advance.
All right.
We won't need to put anything in them because those bags will strictly be for, obviously, the residents that are walking through grabbing the clothes, okay? And another thing I did want to state, obviously I don't want to state the obvious, but we need to, especially from our communications department, get out the information of the date and the time of when the event is, okay? I can also have our communications on our main pages, obviously from the City Hall, post them. I'll also have our communications send it to all the employees within the city, but I need your help in the schools, getting it out to your newspapers, whoever does your announcements. Once again, this event is going to be more word of mouth than anything else.
I'm looking for the time that we settled on. Do you remember the time?
It should be 9 to 12.
9 to 12, okay. Can't find it in my script. But 9 to 12, November 18th. 9 is when it starts. I think we decided we would get there at 8 or 7. I can't remember. Did you find it? What time? The time? The 18th. Let me check my other one. 9 to 12, yeah. Okay. So, I just
Madam
saw-
Chair,
Yeah.
I believe the time you will think you'll need to get there will depend on how much you get done on the 15th and 16th. So why don't we,
Okay.
you know,
To
so-
be determined.
yeah, just for this point, to be determined, you may want to get, if you have a lot, you may want to get there at 7. If you don't have that much, 7:30, 8 o'clock may be
Okay.
plenty.
So 9 to 12, just for everyone, is when the actual event starts and it's going to happen. But like Mr. Mazurkowicz just said, by Thursday, November 16th, we will actually figure out when we all have to be at the event. We did talk about distributing clothes, talked about the outreach. Oh, when we distribute the clothes, are we gonna put them in boxes? Because that's what I was thinking, to make it like put shirts here, because we'll need boxes for that.
I'm sorry, what do you mean put them in boxes?
Like when we go the 15th and the 16th,
Right, and we sort them?
yeah, where are we putting that clothes?
Well, there's a stage available for us.
Yeah.
So we'll be putting everything on the stages, and then
Oh,
what'll happen is that Saturday morning, we're basically gonna take the pile from the stage and then put it on the table.
Okay, perfect, thank
Yeah.
you. Is there any discussion or questions or plans? Fisher?
This is just a question for Ms. Griglin. Just to clarify, so Goodwill is requesting help to move extra clothing after the drive is completed?
Correct. So once it ends at 12, they are going to request your assistance that whatever was not picked up inside of the building, that they will help you with the baskets, but they're asking for your assistance to help them get it into their trucks.
Okay,
Okay?
thank you.
Amber Whitish?
I will be out of town for the drive. What is the best way to, is an email to Ms. Griglin fine to notify you of that?
I believe you already sent me an email if you check your sent.
Okay.
You did email me a while back about it.
Okay.
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
Thank
I
you for
actually
letting us
remember.
know. Anything else? I feel like we're pretty concrete in our project.
Okay, I'm sorry, I finally found the flyer. So yes, to confirm, it is 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. on November the 18th. So obviously, right, we should at least be there. At this point, let's plan on 8. If we know by the 16th that, hey, we don't really need everybody there an hour early, that's what the group text is for.
Perfect. Any more discussion? Seeing none, let's go to item 10E, special events discussion. Last Friday, a few of our council members, including myself, participated in this year's trunk or treat. We had so much fun passing out candy to the little and big kids. There was kind of some teenagers there, you know. They want the candy. I want to thank every member that came, every member that helped come up with the idea, made the decorations, and Miss Cosden for coming. We love you. And yeah, just thank you everyone for helping. Even though, I wrote this joke, our decorations started to fly in the wind, our balloon left, Whitish didn't keep it tight, and we lost a couple decorations, but it's okay. It was amazing. We still had fun. But anyways, our next special event that we discussed last meeting is the Veterans Day Parade. We brainstormed a couple different ideas of promoting our council at the parade. One of these ways was to pass out promotional flyers that basically says a couple different events and what the youth council is about. And communications director Calix actually created the flyer, and it is in your backup material. And that's getting sent to Miss Griglin, and it's going to be printed. Do you have any more information, Ms. Strickland?
So the only thing that I did add, because there was a key piece missing, the time for the event on November the 18th. So I did insert that in there because that's very, very important, especially if we're going to hand it out on Veterans Day, okay? Other than that, I did kind of leave it as is. I guess I would like to know what your guys' intention is how what, we're just going to fold them and hand them out at the parade? What are you guys thinking? I mean, I'm just, bearing the fact that if it's a windy day, let's just have, in mind that we don't want.
Well, what is, you've been to a Veterans Day parade?
Yes.
How is it like? Like how is it set up?
So obviously the parade itself, it goes very slow. I mean, obviously there's very reasons for that. I mean, when you see the amount of kids that are going to be on the side and participants, I mean, the parade itself moves very, very slow. But people are throwing candy and walking in, and so we are all just obviously very safe about it. We'll have my main vehicle in front that will obviously hold all the candy and some water, whatever we need, and obviously our flyers. And then we as the council will walk directly behind it. We don't physically throw the candy, we gently hand it to them because obviously we don't want any kids getting hurt or anything. So, I mean, obviously that, by you guys walking on the side, you will be able to hand out the flyers. It's just a matter of, I mean, do we want to fold them a little bit? I mean, handing a big piece of paper to somebody, I don't know if someone's going to want to hold that paper. Just have that in mind that if it was you standing there or you got a kid or, they're not going to want to hold the paper. So just have that in mind as to how we want to execute it.
Okay. Member DePera?
Maybe we could condense the information on here. So for Love Blocks and Blessings in a Backpack, we kind of talked about maybe doing GoFunds, and then I think last time we talked about having like the QR code for it. So maybe instead of having that information, we can be like, if you want to contribute, here's the QR code, just scan it. And then for the clothing drive event, maybe instead of saying like asking the question, we can just say on November 18th from 9 to 12, we'll be having a clothing drive giveaway event, instead of like having that much information. And that way it can be like smaller, maybe have it cut into a third or 1/2 pieces of paper instead of a whole page.
Vice Chair?
Maybe we could fold it in half so that it shows the thank you veterans and it's saluting for the most part, and then put it in a bag with a piece of candy, because you're already going to be giving out candy. So if you do that, the bag will have a little bit of weight, and maybe they could hold it that way. I'm not sure.
I mean, it's all great and dandy ideas. The problem that we're running into is we're at a time crunch.
Yeah.
I just gave it to the printer to print. I still have to, obviously, he hasn't even, I don't believe he's even started them yet. So he's got to get them printed. I got to get them picked up. I got to get them to you guys. So, I mean, it's not impossible.
How many are you printing?
I was thinking like 250.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go crazy over them.
Yeah, what I would suggest, if you have a limited number like 250, you give 125 to one person on each side of the street, and you ask, would you like one of our flyers showing what we're doing as the youth council? And then make it a one-on-one. You're not throwing them, you're not just dispersing them to everybody's there, and you're going to be making that ask of teenagers and above, and adults, not the little kids there for the candy. So that may be a way of, and at 125, you can start off with it, like this, and just take one out, pass them out. One person is a designated flyer person on each side. And if you only give them to the people who agree to take it, you won't have a problem with them being tossed all over, or as much of a problem as them being tossed all over.
I think we have 5 members going. I think it was 5.
I was going to ask you to reconfirm. I believe it was 5, but maybe that has changed since we last talked.
Can I have a raise of hands to see who is actually planning to go to the Veterans Day parade? 1, 2, 3.
Oh, 1, 2, 3.
You're gonna be there.
5, 6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 6. Okay. So 6. I was gonna say that idea of the 2 on the side, but giving it to just the adults or the teens is a good idea. So let's plan that, let's have that in our minds while we're there. We'll figure out who's gonna pass out the flyers when we get there, but good idea. Any more information that we need to know, Ms. Strickland?
Just a key thing, obviously, now that I know the members that are attending, I'm sorry, one more time so I can get a group text together. Whitish, Muncie, Mazurkowitz, Dupeyron, and Anchetta, and Arvella. Okay,
The text should be the barbell text. 3 on each end.
there we go. Just a key thing, obviously, it's Lafayette Street over there, where basically where the old Perkins used to be.
I know.
And whatever that street is, off of Cape Coral Parkway. I mean, you're gonna see me there. You're gonna see a lot of people starting to set up because they're basically. So we basically get there at 9. I know that sounds early. Parade doesn't start till 11, but it takes a lot of organization for them to get everybody in line and situated and set up. So I mean, we do have to be patient. It's a lot of people that they try to put together, but it is an amazing event, like I said, and the amount of people and kids. It's just a really, really fun day. So if you can participate, you'll have a really good time. Okay.
Thank you. Is there any more questions? Discussion? Yep, do paper?
So we'll just be wearing our shirts, right?
Oh, I'm glad you mentioned that. Yes. So obviously, my suggestion, once again, we're a group. Let's go ahead and wear our pullovers. I'm really okay with whatever anyone wants to wear on the bottom, unless you guys want to be a little more specific. And I don't know, all beige shorts. I'm gonna kind of leave it up to you guys. Once again, I don't want anybody to have to go out and spend money if you don't have the article of clothing that we're choosing. But if we want to try to have same bottoms, you guys just gotta let me know.
I feel like we'll decide that a little closer because we don't know what the temperature will be that day. So I don't know if I want to wear my skirt that I'm wearing right now or pants. I don't know. Might be too hot or windy. So I'm gonna write it down.
And we can, once I will start a group text, and then we know that we're only speaking to the members that are going and not bothering anybody else. And the key things with the members who are going, I have left you all hold harmless agreements. I must have that in my hand before you take off on the parade, okay? If you want to email it to me ahead of time, that's totally fine. If you want to bring it to me that day, that is also fine.
Perfect. Any more questions? That was a great question, Dukaran. Okay. Seeing none, let's go to item 10F, Lovelocks project updates. At our last meeting, we discussed how we should focus on raising the remaining funds for our Lovelocks project, which will go towards the paint coat of the structure, I believe. Our advisors advised Member Bella to reach out to restaurants, especially new ones that are looking for promotional activities, who may be interested in doing fundraisers. So I'm going to turn the floor over to Member Bella for updates and stuff.
I don't have too many updates. I reached out to Chipotle and Culver's just because they're the most popular ones. I haven't gotten the chance to go to like smaller businesses, but I did it through an online way, and they kind of like, we've been back and forth, but it's not confirmed yet. But for the Chipotle one, hopefully it's confirmed for like early January. But I'll update everyone once it's like confirmed so we can get that out.
Didn't you send a text? Did you send a text? Okay, yeah, because I just got flashbacks. Okay. Well, I'm glad you're working hard on this. Any questions? Anything else? Okay, let's go to our next item, item 10G, senior project continued discussion. Last weekend, our members conducted another one of our adoptive roads for this year's senior project. As most of you are aware, though, there was a mishap that happened. Member Mazurkowitz, do you want to elaborate on what happened?
Where?
I mean, Advisor Mazurkowitz, our adopt a road, we had something that happened. There was a miscommunication.
Oh, yeah, it happens.
Yeah, it was really silly, but it's okay. Yeah, I guess if you saw Vice Mazurkowitz's email, disregard it. There was just a miscommunication, but the project did get done, so it's okay. Yeah. Does anyone that went to the Adopt a Road want to give any feedback? I know our last meeting we had some more feedback about the grabbers breaking.
They had new grabbers, so I don't know who was there. Were they better?
Yeah, they didn't break.
All
Oh
right.
yeah, there we go.
There was one
One. Okay, that's good. Okay, that's perfect. Last question. Member Whittish, I think you said you wanted to contact the city council about coming to our Adopt a Roads. Did you contact them?
Yes, I sent them an email. Actually the night of our last meeting, I sent that email out, and I just invited them politely and said we would love to have you. Yeah.
Any responses?
Nope.
All right. Well, let's do a follow-up email. Let's see if they want to come. Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna confirm on that because he did send it to the city council at capecoral.gov, which is what I am included on as well, and all of the dates are on their calendars. Okay. We physically have placed every single one on their calendar. So,
Yes.
to be truthfully honest with you, you probably are not going to know ahead of time if they show up or not, but I can guarantee they're all on the calendar.
Okay.
Because I physically placed.
Thank you. Number 1 youth council supporter, Ms. Kirkland. All right. Is there any more discussion or questions? Our next Adopt a Road is not going to be November because we have our giveaway event that day. So we are going to have our next Adopt a Road Saturday, December 16th, 2023. If you have not attended an Adopt a Road, I am encouraging you to try to attend the December one. I think it's important that we do this all together. If you haven't attended one, please try to. Any more questions or discussion? Seeing none, let's go to item 10H, reinstatement of Youth Council Awards discussion. At our last meeting, Member Whittish brought forth his idea of implementing a citizen recognition program called the Youth Council Awards that was once used by previous councils. After agreeing to the idea, we came up with some plans of how we would like to implement the awards, and we came up with a plan or like a timeline, so I'm going to read it. We are going to release the applications/nominations by February 1st. We will vote and announce the winners at our March meeting, and we will finally present the awards to our final term meeting, which is April. I'm going to now move the floor over to Member Whittish and explain the draft of our nomination and application.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So we have 2 applications that I was able to draft, the the nomination form, and then the personal student application form. The nomination form essentially explains that the Cape Coral Youth Council Awards Program recognizes 1 high school student in each of our 5 categories: leadership, arts, civic engagement, excellence in academics, and athletics. Students must be residents of Cape Coral but may attend any school. Students must have an unweighted GPA of 3.0, must be in good behavioral standing in their school. The nominators must be either a guidance counselor, teacher, or school administrator of the high school that the student attends. Award recipients will be selected by vote of the Cape Coral Youth Council, and then we will, of course, have the award ceremony at the Friday, April 12th, 2024 meeting. The next page is just nominator information, their basic information, the student information, and then it moves on to which category. So in the leadership category, we're looking for students in Cape Coral who are either student government officers, club officers, JROTC staff, things of that nature. In arts, we're looking for performing and digital. We ask for them to please provide at least 1 example of their work, so like a picture of their portfolio or something like that. In civic engagement, we're looking for students who participate in Model United Nations, youth in government, campaign volunteering. Excellence in academics, we're looking for high scores or excellence in ACE, IB, AP, or high SAT scores. And then in athletics, we're looking for varsity and team leadership, things like that. The questions are very simple. They just ask them, the nominator, to explain what makes their students stand out and why they're a good representation of that category. And that is essentially all for the nomination form. And then in the student application, one moment. The student application is one that they can fill out themselves. This just asks for their information, their basic information. It asks them for their GPA and to provide like a report card. It asks for their service hours and to provide a letter, making sure that that we can prove that they have those service hours. They would select the category that they want to seek an award in, and then it asks them to, and then in the questions, it asks them to introduce themselves to the Cape Coral Youth Council, their hobbies, their interests. It asks them to list their clubs and activities. It asks them to explain their passion for their selected category and then what makes them stand out. We also ask them to provide at least one letter of recommendation. And the basics across the board from the nominator application and from the student application is that they all be turned in to Ms. Griglin by March 1st. They can be emailed or mailed or turned in physically. I also included a procedure to how we would select the candidates. It's like a voting procedure. It's very simple. We would just go down the line and say which one we want in each category.
Thank you, Member Widish. Is there any feedback on his nomination application form? My one thing, you know what? Member Mazurkowitz, you go first.
Okay, thank you, Chair. I just have a question about when we actually do the voting. So the applications are going to be submitted. Are they going to be in backup material so everyone can review them before the voting?
That would be the idea. That would have to be, between Ms. Griglin and the chair, but yes.
Yeah, we'll have them before that too. We'll send it out. When we did the communications director thing, you guys had it already and should have reviewed it before we actually voted. It makes everything go smoother. So I would say we would do that. My thing though is the application and the nomination form. I feel like the nomination form isn't as personal as the application form. I feel like the application form, it has so many more detailed questions, but the nomination form only has 2. I feel like we won't get a real feel of what the student is with the nomination form than the application. Remember what if?
I could create extra questions to kind of explain to us more, what is the teacher's personal connection to the student? How long have they known them? Questions like that to try and really see what is it that makes this Cape Coral resident, this student, stand out from the rest of them, stand out from the other thousands that might not be applying, but that are in the city? Why are we, as a youth council, going to award them? What just makes them stand out? So I don't mind drafting more, I guess, unique questions to add.
Yeah, it's just the first one. It's introduce yourself to the youth council. I feel like there could be maybe draft that into a different wording for the nominator to do. I don't know if you understand.
So the student application, that's where the student's filling it out and they're applying for an award. And then on the nominator, you're talking about the one where the teacher fills it out. You just want some more personal questions, some better structured questions?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Vice Chair?
Yeah, so not to just say exactly what you said again, but I was going to say something similar to that. In my personal opinion, I think that if you're nominated by someone, it kind of has a deeper meaning than you applying yourself, because you can kind of think whatever you want about yourself, but when it comes down to it, it's this person went out of their way to nominate me for this award because they think I have a good chance of winning it. So making sure that that nomination form is just as in-depth, or if not more in-depth, of a document just as the application, I think would be the best route to take.
Member Little?
So I have a recommendation for one of the questions that you may want to add is describing the most memorable moment with the student. That way it could show some character, it could show maybe even humor, just depends really. Or even describe them in 3 words. That way it's yeah.
Member Dupera?
Yeah, and also describing their personal connections. It may be a teacher, but I'm not sure if one of the questions, if it's how many years have you known the student, and then that also shows how long the connection's been. And then another thing that I saw was I don't know if it's just me, but for excellence in academics, we can just put academics, because if you're technically applying for like arts or leadership, technically you'd be like excellence in arts. So it's just the phrasing for that one category.
Member Muncy?
Well, I applaud you, Member Wish, for both of these applications. They're phenomenal. I personally do not think that we should have two. In every sense of fairness, everyone should be filling out the same application, whether it be application or nomination. I think that it should all be the same document.
Well, okay. Member Woodish, you go first.
Can I ask for some clarification on that? Like, are you more, like, do you just want like one or the other? You don't want a nomination and a personal application?
Yes.
So you would prefer only a nomination?
Either or, whatever the council
Okay.
decides. Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
Member Mazurkowitz? Yeah.
Okay, so I just want to say quickly that I agree that it should only maybe either be nominations or nominating yourself. I think that's a very good point. But we're only allowing guidance counselors, teachers, and administrators to nominate students. I don't know if it was discussed at the last meeting, but is there a reason why we're not allowing students to nominate other students?
Member Woodish?
I think the reason being is I think we're looking for, not to say that students are not valid in their opinions of other people. I think it's just more like in general, we want to make sure the applications we receive aren't like, like, what's the word for it? Like facetious or things like that. We want to make sure they're coming from like a point, not necessarily of authority, but somebody that has experience in the field. Like I could probably add club advisor on there, but I just don't know that, like students nominating other students is just something that we can like rely on.
I kind of agree with Member Woodish. I feel like it should come from a more authority figure. Real quick, I'm going to bounce off of Muncy real quick because what you brought up is a good point, Muncy. But I emailed Woodish about how I liked there being both a nomination and a application because I won a Make a Difference award and I had applied for it myself. So I have done a community service type of award and I received it, but I felt like I'm recognizing my own hard work and I got the award. So I feel like it is special that I applied myself to get it. But I do agree that getting nominated is also a special, but I feel like we should still have two different forms. I don't know. Member Woodish.
So if I'm going to be, like completely honest and give my opinion on the matter, I'm going to have to agree that I think we should only have one, and then furthermore, I honestly would only agree with having the nomination. And that the reason being for that is, I think that it's great that students can recognize themselves, but your impact is only measured by how others recognize you and how others view you, and how, your impact has, came to them. So if we are going to move forward, I would, support either one, but my optimal idea for this would be to have just the nomination.
Vice Chair?
So, not to beat a dead horse or anything, but I do agree with the keeping only it to a nomination. However, when you think about stuff like scholarships, I don't really know too many where like you're nominated for a scholarship. I only know like apply to a scholarship, and people get so much money from scholarships because they apply themselves. So that's kind of the idea that I was thinking of with you going forth and doing your own, like nominating yourself and doing your own proposal for it. So I think it's fine that we keep both. And I don't think that we should have bias towards nomination proposals over student proposals.
And that's why I brought up the kind of subtle differences between the two forms, because I feel like reading just the two responses from the nominations form is not as personal as the other one.
Madam Chair, just a question. Philosophically, if a student can nominate themselves, why can't they nominate another student?
They can't nominate themselves. I don't think they can nominate themselves. I think it's only.
Well, that's, so then, yeah, that is what an application is.
Yeah, you apply, you nominate yourself. If you're gonna have a single form, a nomination/application form, the people that apply them nominate themselves, which is nothing wrong with that. But if you can nominate yourself, why can't you nominate a fellow student?
Okay, well, I agree. Remember what is?
By that understanding, if we're going to make it open to students nominating other students, then we should also open it to their parents nominating them, family, because in that case, it's like, I don't want to say it's biased, but in a way, like, your friends nominating you might be, somewhat, in a sense, biased, whereas, if it's a club advisor or school administrator, they are on the basis of your merit selecting you and not on the basis of your friendship or your personal connection.
I have no position on it. I just thought philosophically, if you can nominate yourself, why can't you nominate another student?
Which is also why I'm suggesting we stick with, just no personal application for the award. I think that we should move forward with a teacher, club advisor, school administrator, or guidance counselor nominating you.
Ms. Strickland?
Thank you, Chair. Well, just to piggyback off of what Mr. Mazurkowitz says, I think you guys have to stand back and go back to why did you guys create this? You created it for the students to come forward, and they're going to show you why they have the academic. You're going to read their applications. You're going to read their resumes. So it shouldn't really matter who's writing behind that, because you at the end is going to be like, well, based on what their interview with you guys were and what was on their resume, that's what you're picking and choosing from. It really doesn't make a difference at the end who wrote it.
All right.
My personal opinion.
If your hand's up right now, it needs to be related to this discussion, because I'm going to go for a vote soon of whether we're going to add the students to the application. So if your hand's raised, keep it raised. Is it about this discussion? Dupeyron?
Mm-hmm.
Dupeyron, you go.
Yeah, so it's just about the application. So I think if we really want to choose one or the other, I think applications will offer more insightful information, because I think since we're trying to opening it to the most amount of students, I think having only nomination will restrict the amount of people who will have access to it. And I think by having an application, they'll be able to provide more explanation of what they do in the community and what they work on. So.
Member Bella?
I think, after what everyone said, I think it would be easier to just have it be the student, recommend themselves, because we have the letter of recommendation included by, well, that's basically their nomination from an outside, a teacher, a club advisor, or whatnot. And also, even though it is, technically biased, it's, if we form the questions right, they're not just gonna be biased responses, if that makes sense. It's gonna be strictly what am I passionate about, what have I done, and then the letter of rec can just confirm that. So I think that's the best way to go.
Member Little?
Yeah, I have a similar idea as Member Bella because of the letter of application option. Also, slight side note, I think we should have other students nominate other students because it's connected to the school, but not parents, because that is not connected to the school. That's all. That's my thought about that.
Vice Chair.
So I do have a couple ideas as to what we can do. I was going to mention that exact point, Member Little, so that's one thing off my list. An idea that we can come to, because it seems like we're pretty divided between keeping the nomination or doing strictly the student or having both. I know it's been mentioned on the council before. The WASA students that were on this council were nominated by, not nominated, but they were pulled into the office of the guidance counselors, at least speaking for the, was that the same for the, okay. So all the WASIS members were pulled into the office and nominated by the guidance counselors, and then we filled out the application. So maybe we can have a similar system where they say that they nominated us, and they pull us into whatever office, desk, whatever that they have, and they say, I think that you would be fantastic for this position, or not position, sorry, I'm thinking of the youth council. I think you'd be fantastic for this award. Would you be interested in applying for it? And then they give the application. And then at the award ceremony, to whoever wins it, whatever individual that is, then in it they would say nominated by this and that. What we could also do is that if we want to have kind of another middle ground, what we could do is we could scrap the nomination proposal, and what we can do is have it strictly be a student application and have a point-based system for it. I know SGA at my school has a point-based system for our applications where the teacher recommendation, letter of recommendation is ranked the highest out of the application, and then we have multiple like faculty grade it. But that's just another like side note. I like the first one that I mentioned better, where it's like I nominated you. Would you like to be interested in signing the application?
You will be my last person that talks right now. Angela.
I just wanted to agree with Vice Chair Garcia, because it still, like, it offers both like the prestige of the award and then also the external and internal views of the applicant. And it shows that they want to apply themselves, but it also shows like how they're viewed like to others.
Okay. Mr. Mazurkowitz, can you help me? Should I do a vote right now for?
Yeah, well, you're gonna have to divide the options up and then let everybody know the options available, and then everyone picks their number one option, and we'll keep tally that way, so you.
I was thinking to first do, because I know we have one about.
You have a lot of issues floating
Yeah,
around.
we have a lot of issues.
So you want to talk
I'm
about.
gonna do the application and nomination one.
Yeah,
first.
well, the thing would be, first, are we gonna go just nominations, or are we gonna do nominations and applications?
Mhm.
That would be the first one.
Or
Or just applications, but then it's three. It's gonna be-
wait, just nomination, just application, or both? That's three.
There is a way that you could change the form so it's a nomination/application where the nominator fills out a very small part and is directed to include the things they would answer in the nomination into their letter of recommendation. And then the nominator, like your experience, gives you the application and you fill it out. So that may give you a way of having a nomination/application in one form, and with just minimal amount of work for the nominator, with directions as to what you want to know from them to include it in their letter of recommendation. That may be an option too. Not an option number two, but an option also.
So mixing the application and nomination to have a portion that allows, and that it should be optional, right? An optional portion where nominators
Yeah,
can
where,
express.
if the student wishes to nominate themselves itself at the first part, and they still need a letter of recommendation from somebody, as alluded to earlier. So if you nominate yourself, you're nominated by a third party, you're going to get the same total information and review either way. Does that make sense to you, what I'm saying? If you include the questions that you want addressed by the nominator or the person making the letter of recommendations, you're going to get that information in that letter, so you don't have to worry about whether they're nominated or they self-apply. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, then, ask for any objections to that, and we can go forward.
Is there any objections? British. Discussion? Okay, go.
So, Advisor Mazurkowitz did bring up a good point where either way, yes, we're going to be getting the same information. We're going to be getting student-based information, and no matter what, we're going to be getting an opinion from an advisor. So if that's the case, why don't we just we take the student application that we have now, and then as they said, why don't we just, instead of making it optional, make it a requirement? So no matter what, we have student and teacher input about the merits of that person. That
Yes. Yes,
And
that will be.
I hate to create more work for you, it's just a matter of merging the two forms and eliminating the questions for the nominator and tell them, included in your letter of recommendation, you need to address A, B, and C. And you'll have all the information in one form to look at. And it'll be equal chance for everybody, whether they nominate themselves or somebody else nominates them.
Member Dupeyro?
Yeah, I just have a question. So does that mean that the application would be like available to anyone, or so you wouldn't have to be like told about it? Like it's just going to be available and you can just apply and nominate yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how that all ferrets out is that if in the letter of recommendation, the identified staff person cannot write or fulfill that requirement, that application doesn't rise to the top.
We're gonna vote real quick of what we want to do going forward with the application or the nomination or mixing the two. So can I have a raise of hands of who wants to have just nominations for our Youth Council Awards? Okay. Can I have a raise of hands of who just wants to do the application for the student for awards? Okay. And who wants to mix the two together for our awards? Okay. I agree. Okay. Yes, we did that. Okay. Member Whitish.
Mr. Wish, you have more work.
Thank you.
Not too bad though.
At our next meeting, I will come with a combined proposal with the edits mentioned, as well as the new mix, just so everybody's prepared for what we're going to decide on next meeting.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Vice Chair.
So just to clarify, what we all just agreed on is first there would be a nomination by an advisor or any of the faculty first. And then they would have the student application be a required part of that. Then what did we agree on?
Whitish.
I believe we just agreed on the student fills out the application, and it is required that they also, through their personal application, have a nomination portion that they have to have an advisor fill out.
There it is.
It'll be a combined, for all practice, it'll be a combination of your nomination form and application, and your nomination form will not be blocks of information for them to write. It'll be a list of the things they need to include in their letter of recommendation. So you'll have the exact same information. So if John Smith invites himself, John Smith is going to have to take this form to one of his faculty advisors, students, administration, and say, listen, I need you to do a letter of recommendation for me, and it has to include this list of stuff. So everybody has the same amount of information on the exact same criteria. Does that make sense?
So it's a
more required.
It's a
letter of
more
recommendation.
in-depth recommendation letter.
Yes.
So it is
very much so. It is a more in-depth and specific request for information in a letter of recommendation. You're absolutely
okay.
correct.
So it's the student. I lost my train. Oh, it's the student applying first, and then it's the more in-depth recommendation letter.
Because a letter of rec, if you haven't seen one before, it's kind of a blank document, and it's just your recommender saying, oh, they do this, I know them from this, they do well in this, and that's it. But because we're giving them these two responses, it's basically them nominating us and making sure that they're credible to nominate us for whatever award they're doing. So it's like, it's a more concrete letter of recommendation.
For all practical purposes, it allows the person to self-apply, self-nominate, and get a letter of recommendation that puts them on equal footing with those who get nominated by a staff member.
Equal footing.
Yeah, the same information.
They're both
In a different circumstance, or that?
No,
this is the only option that we're having?
Yeah, this is the only option you
Yeah.
have, that one, and no matter whether I nominate myself or I have a teacher nominate me, you collectively have the same information about me.
Karen?
Should we limit like one, so like if a person wants to be a nominator, should we only limit them to one person to nominate, or do you think it should be like a teacher can nominate as many students as they want?
That's fine to me. I think they should be able to nominate whoever. Member Whitish.
I I think, for example, if you have a student government and you have a class president and you have a student body president, both are very much so qualified to receive this award. So I think, you know, as long as a student has merit and they complete the application, as long as it's a complete application, then you can nominate as many people as you want. That's
Yeah. Ms. Gertland, did you have anything?
All right, I'm just gonna put another spin out on it because in case it were to happen, are you guys going to be excluding yourself from this? Okay, just I'm putting it on the table so that everybody understands
Okay,
that
good.
there's the same thing. Thank you.
$5, did you nod your head too? Okay, perfect. Member Woodish. All right. Okay. Any more discussion or questions? That was a great debate, guys. We did that. Let's go. Okay, let's go to our next item, which is item 11, next meeting agenda topics. Members, are there any topics that we should consider? Let me get my agenda out. Hold on. Okay. Business, we don't need A, we don't need 10A. Do you guys think we should have 10B? Which is FLC Youth Council video competition. Because it will be over by then. No? Okay. Raise your hand. No? Okay. I thought you said yes, Whitish, I'm sorry. Okay. So we won't have B, we will have C, which is blessings, we will have junior project. We'll have special events, I think. Yes, Vice Chair?
Why wouldn't we keep 10B? Wouldn't
10B.
that just be watching the final product? Because there's still some changes that need to be done to it.
Because I'm sure they're gonna send us a copy of it.
So it's something outside the meeting?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
That's fine.
we'll get a copy of it.
Right.
Yeah, well, this will come up when we know, if we won or not again. But we will see the final product. Special events continued. I think I'm gonna keep that one. Maybe that's a maybe because Veterans Day will pass, but I don't know if we'll have Woodish.
Member $5 had something. I don't know if you saw him.
For the video competition, will we have the results at that point?
No, it takes a while.
Yeah, it's usually a month or two.
Yeah, hopefully us seniors will still be on the council to know. I don't.
Oh, you'll know before then.
Okay, good. Love locks keep, senior keep, reinstatement, youth council awards keep. Is there anything we want to add? Okay. Seeing none, I need a motion to approve 10C, 10C, 10D, 10E, 10F, 10G, and 10H. Member Ms. Zerkowitz.
I motion to approve items 10C, 10D, 10E, 10F, 10G, and 10H as our next meeting agenda topics.
Can I have a second? Member Little?
I second that motion.
Motion was made by Member Mazurkowitz. The second was made by Member Little. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. So those are our agenda topics. I will try to format them correctly. Let's go to our next item. Item 12, reports. From members, I will open the floor to reports from any of you guys. Okay. Seeing none, let's go to item 13, reports of the council liaison and advisors.
No report.
Okay.
The only thing I would like to report is if you guys want to keep this on your calendar, the Holiday Festival of Lights is Saturday, December the 2nd. There's like no parade or anything, but there is a time where city council will go up on the main stage if you've never been there. It's right in front of Big John's Plaza. The mayor and any council members obviously can say a few words, and then they will shortly announce us. We usually try to get the chair to say something. It is very brief, I'm not gonna lie to you, but if it's something you wanna participate in, we do it every year.
Perfect. I'll send a text to see who was able to attend. Any more reports? Let's go to item 14, time and place of future meetings. The next regular meeting of the Cape Coral Youth Council is scheduled for Friday, December 8th, 2023 at 3 p.m. in council chambers. This meeting is now adjourned.